going on? RGIJ is back, baby. All right, everybody, welcome, man. Today we got a really good friend of mine, aka Hot Water, Achilles. He owns a barbecue sauce, man, that I really want to introduce y'all into this one. But I've known him for, I think, man, good over 10 years or something like that. I think I've known him for a long time. But he retired from the Marine Corps, and then he started the almost a grassroots, right? Like, so you created this beforehand, but like, I've been seeing you over the years, farmers markets, going out there doing your stuff now. I see your barbecue is now in, it's in stores now. You're getting bigger. So first of all, if you could just like let us know what you're doing, what we got going on, a little bit about yourself, and then let us know about that barbecue sauce.
All right, my name is Achilles Murray. I'm originally from Pasadena, California, Altadena, California. I joined the Marine Corps in '94, and I retired in 2014.
Congratulations.
While I was hey, can you bring me those sauces on the thing? Thank you. While I was in about 98, 99, I got stationed in Okinawa, and we got tired of going to the commissary, and we were buying the same old bland sauce that every time I bought it, I had to put something in it to make it more, tasteful, I guess you could say. So I told my wife one day, I looked at her, I was like, you know what, I think I could do this. And we started off with ketchup and mustard. And I think we ended up having at one time, we probably had about 25 to 28 different ingredients in there at one time. But now I think we're down to 14 now. We have quite a lot in there. But it's everything that was in my kitchen, in the cupboard, or it was in the refrigerator, with some of the fresh vegetables we used. That's where I got the idea from. And we, like I said, we started in '99. We were in Okinawa, and people were like, hey, you should bottle this stuff. We were like, yeah, whatever, man, quit playing. It's just a little hometown barbecue. So, but we ended up putting in some bottles just to see how it would go. And we were selling them at like $5 a bottle, but we made like maybe 40 bottles, and we sold out of them within a week. So upon doing that, I got stationed in South Carolina, and we got not a co-packing company, but a commercial kitchen, and we started making it out there. And while I was stationed out there, and we made about 300 boxes of 12 cases. And I put them in a U-Haul, and I went to Tennessee, and I was dealing some out the back of the U-Haul, and I had some in the back of my car and the back of my truck. I had a Suburban, and on Fridays I'd take it to work, and I'd sell out of like 8 boxes. So it was really catching on. So right when we were about to start, I was like, man, we can really do some of this. It's going to be so easy to get in these stores because it's automatic. People are going to love this sauce. Well, I kept getting orders, so we could never get the business started. So I retired in 2014. And in 2015, I officially started the business, and we started with our one flavor. And we were in a commercial kitchen, and we were producing it and getting inspected ourselves. I mean, going through the rig, we used to fill the bottles up with straight funnels. That's how grassroots, how basic we started. And then I was able to afford a little machine, so we got a machine so it could do 20 bottles a minute. It was like, oh man, we're big time now. We're big time. And so we started producing those, but like every 3 weeks we'd run out of sauce, and we had to go back in the kitchen. It was just, we were using plastic bottles, and we were getting those from Illinois, and just the shipping and the labeling. My daughters were labeling themselves, and it was just crazy. It was a lot of work though, but it was worth it. We did it for about probably a year just in farmers markets.
Wow.
We found a co-packer it didn't work out the way we wanted it to. So I was at the farmer's market selling, and another guy came by and he saw the sauce. He said, "Hey man, it's probably quite a lot for you to do." I said, "Yeah, you know." He said, "Hey, give me a call on Monday. I make sauces." I was like, "All right, cool. You know, whatever." You meet people, all kinds of people at the farmer's market, which is cool. But this guy was an actual co-packer, and he took our sauce, and he not only made one, but he was able to make all three sauces, all three flavors that we did. And we went from plastic bottles to a co-packer with glass bottles. And then we went to a co-packer with glass bottles, and he was making three different flavors for us. He was making our original flavor, a California Crush, which is pineapple, and then we came out with another one, was called Backyard Boogie, which is peach and mango. And the peach and mango really set itself apart. People were like, "Oh man, this stuff is really good." And we just stayed in the farmers markets, and we were just moving from three. I think I was doing 5 farmers markets at one time, just trying to get our name out there.
Right.
So we end up making one more flavor, and it was San Andreas, and it's orange, strawberry, and habanero. So these guys we have now, they produce 4 of our sauces. And what we do is we just hit the farmers markets. We're in a couple stores. Our biggest store is Gelson's. It's in Southern California, and it's up the coast. We're in about 8 of their stores. We have a store in Escondido called Major Market. We have a store in San Jacinto where I live. They just picked us up. They have 4 stores called El Toro, and it's just been moving. And the flavors aren't like, it's not like your regular barbecue sauce. It's not going to be just, oh okay, it's hickory. No, the flavors we have are just so different and so pronounced in everything. We have a lot of, I think we're up to about 1,800. You know, if that's a big thing, 1,800 followers on Instagram, which is great for us,
Nice.
starting from nothing.
Yeah.
So that's about basically how we got the sauce started. The sauce goes on any kind of meat. I know people who put it in their salad. It's crazy. They're just able to use it in so many multi-purpose ways. That's why the bottles, it doesn't say barbecue sauce on it. They say gourmet sauce, just so you can know that it's universal and you can use it anywhere. So that's about basically what we're doing right now. Being in stores is great, though.
Yeah, man. That's dope. I mean, I think, when everyone looks at doing businesses, like especially a sauce, trying to think of how do you do that? How you go from there, putting it in there. I've been to farmers market, and you see people at farmers market, and they're always, they're doing those things. They got to do it themselves, right? They don't have that thing. I love to see that you've come from, especially since I've known you. I've known you. I don't think we ever even talked about the barbecue sauce, or like, you having that one. So when I see you come out with a gourmet sauce, I was like, oh shit. Like, and then I talked to you once, and I know you told me that. So I'm so pumped to see you at this level. Cause I think, one of the reasons why I love doing this stuff is just to let veterans know, like, man, like we can do so much more.
Oh yeah.
We have a service. Yeah. Right. We have this. And then what I'm learning too, doing some of my stuff is like, we may not have that, like that degree, or we may not have that thing, but it's like, we have a basic general idea of how to kind of execute something at this level. So when you're packaging everything, you got the whole family involved in this one. What are some of these lessons that you learned that from the Marine Corps that you're able to apply to this?
Oh man, improvise, overcoming the doubt. Just make it happen. There's a lot of just the discipline of having to stay the course, because I didn't realize it's so much. You have to deal with the state of California. You're doing inspections with them. They're coming down. They're looking at your kitchen. They're looking at and they're not, and it wasn't even my kitchen. It's a kitchen I rented. So they're looking at that. Nobody told me that I couldn't be in stores. until it was pretty much too late. They say, "Oh man, that's impossible." I was like, "No, actually, it's not impossible. I've been able to do it. And, it's just not it's going to be different ways. All roads lead to Rome. That's what they say. There's different ways to get there, and we just happen to go this course. And I found a food broker, and they help you with, especially young or small business owners, small ethnic business owners too. So they helped us get in there, and they gave us a shot to go in Gelson's, which Gelson's is like one of the top gourmet stores in California. They have about 27 of them, and we're in 9 of them. So we're just blessed to be in. I believe it's 8 or 9, whatever it is. It's great to be in them. Just to get the chance to get that product out there. The kids used to help me all the time. Now they're all grown, so they just sit back and like, yeah, Dad, whatever. Because that's what because people don't know, that's what J&T stands for. It's actually my children's initials. The J is for Joshua.
Oh, cool.
The N, which looks actually like an E, is for Elisa. We got a T for Tempest. And the S, we had my daughter after we had already made the sauce and everything. My last daughter, her name is Lee. So we call it Joshua, Elisa, Tempest, and Lee's Gourmet Sauce. So when I leave, whoever's going to take over, they'll have something to grab onto and keep on going. And as long as somebody's out there, like the Field of Dreams said, if you build it, they will come. For real, because I just built this off of one sauce. Now I have, like I was saying, you guys, I got 4 awesome flavors, and they're really. We placed in the Kansas City Barbecue Society Best Sauce on the Planet contest. We placed number 10 last year, and number 7 this year, with 2 of the sauces in the.
So there's actually like something like where they rank them, and like there's like they have that.
There's a contest every year for Best Sauce on the Planet contest.
Nice.
Yep.
Dope.
So every year I send them in, and they place different every year. But this year the San Andreas placed higher than the Backyard Boogie. But last year the Backyard Boogie was number 10, and this year the San Andreas was number 7.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead.
So let me say this, man. First off, congratulations on your retirement. Thank you for your service.
Support.
I appreciate it. You do got a strong name. Achilles is a strong name. So if you know from mythology, that's strong. So that's awesome. But I'm a big proponent, that hard work pays off, and you are truly a testament of that. You know what I'm saying? Even during your time in the service, you were still trying to make your dream come into fruition, which is awesome. And I'm glad that Mike brought you on, because it's definitely, this is the platform that we like to share these stories and whatnot. But let me ask you this: was your upbringing like that? Was mom, dad always cooking? Was your household filled with that type of stuff that gave you influence?
My mom cooked a little, my dad cooked a little, but I started cooking about the age of 7. And my first thing I ever made was a hamburger, which was easy. Then I went from making a hamburger to fried chicken wings. And I've always had a little dab to do this for cooking. I liked it. And I was a fat, chubby kid when I was, because I was tested every day. So when it was time to join the Marine Corps, they're like, "You want to be a cook?" I was like, "No, I'll gain it." Look, it's already hard to keep my weight down now. I really have problems there, but man, we used to get together like we do now, every 4th of July, Labor Day, whatever, somebody's party. And I had some uncles, man, and these guys used to just barbecue, and they sit in there in the smoke room with the Q going, and then they be drinking their Patron, and I'm looking up to these guys like, oh man, this is what it's all about. But I could never get the secret to their sauce. but I was a kid. But still, they used to make some real nice, real good barbecue. And so when I got older, I just kind
Right.
of took the knack of. I used to barbecue. Now I do more smoking and grilling. It's a big difference between all that. A lot of people would say that same thing, but it's a difference. So now it's just a lot of smoking and taking your time, going low and slow, making sure everything's cooked to perfection now. But yeah, I've always had the family. My grandmothers could get down. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's how it is in a Spanish household. You know, we're big on adobo. We're big on different seasoning because my parents are Puerto Rican, so the arroz con gandules and all that stuff. Now, when you were trying to come up with ingredients for it, like you were just experimenting on what you felt was like tasteful items, and then just mixing it up, trying to concoct something to where you're like, oh man, we got
Pretty
something
much.
here.
Like I said, we started with ketchup, we started with mustard and brown sugar. That was the basics, and I was looking at a lot of these other companies, and that's that's what they had on there. But then they have all dextrose, this and whatever kind of other stuff. So I was like,
Right.
let's try put this in. So let's try some jalapenos. Oh, this is good for this. Okay, let's try this. Let's try that. And we got a rub that we put in before. So a lot of people, you don't even have to put like rub on your meat. You can just use the sauce and marinate it and use it like that. But like the rub is already in the sauce. So, a lot of people just put rub on the stuff, and then the sauce is going to be that real basic stuff. Our sauce is so complex, but it's so good just with the different flavors, like I said, that we put in there. That's how we just came up with it. And you'll be surprised. Some people, what I think, we used to do taste tests in the farmers markets, and out of the 10 people who walked up, maybe one person walked away without buying. So it was like 9 out of 10.
Oh wow.
We get those people who say, "Hey, it's a little bit too spicy." Okay, I understand if your palate's not made for that, then it's understandable. As far as flavor goes, we're killing it, because that's where a lot of it is. A lot of people don't want just hot. They want hot with flavor. Something. Hey, I can come back and get some more of this, and people are truly coming back. I got a lot of my fellow Marines. They come back all the time. They buy online. A lot of service members, veterans, and your regular Joe Smuckatelli just comes up, and they're coming back, and they're coming back to pick up more. Like one guy came to me today. He's like, "Man, you remember me? Man, I ain't seen this guy in 3 years, but it was cool because he came back for sauce. He remembered it, So, yeah.
You got regulars, man. That's good. You got regulars.
Definitely.
So that's so you got this going on now, and you've expanded it to now you got your 4 sauces. You have this one. I mean, you've gotten more to the point where you've grown, right? So you come out with one original sauce. You're finding someone that your production now is getting better, and how you're getting it. Now you're shipping it. You're doing all these things. You got a store. I mean, it's easy to go and shop. I bought some already, so it's like boom, boom, you're done, and it ships, right?
Yeah, that's it.
So you're getting your business is evolving more and more. Where do you see you going, like with this one? Do you want to take it to another flavor, or is there something else you're kind of like, man, I have an idea about?
I think we might do an all-purpose rub. That'll be our next thing, and then after that, really no, man. I mean, 4 sauces are good until we get to a production level where we can go in there and I can just really experiment with a lot, different flavor and everything once we get to that level. But right now, these 4, man, I'll tell you what, they kick my butt alone, just making sure that I keep them babies in stock. Because we're usually, it's any given Sunday, or like I say, any given farmer's market, like our original will really sell. We'll sell 12 of them just that day and sell 3 of them the next day. and it goes that for any sauce. It just depends on how the crowd feels, and you got to kind of feel the people out and let them know, because
Mm.
when the COVID happened, we stopped doing taste tests. So now when people ask the flavor, they like, "Oh, do you have tasters?" Like, sorry, we don't have tasters anymore. But I have to describe, and pretty much it's your first. It's like your first impression is going to be that lasting impression. I have to describe each one and what flavor is going to be, so they're going to be
Absolutely.
interested in it, and eventually they'll pick it up.
So what did what did COVID do that you had to change beyond the taste testing?
Oh, it was all the farmers markets. The country was shut down for what, 6 weeks, I think. So we weren't able to sell anything, but online, and nobody was really buying just the bottles online. We're a little bit. I mean, our online sales are cool, but when most people buy barbecue sauce, they're cooking right then, and they want in the store right then. So so we were down for the 6 weeks, and we came back in. And matter of fact, the manager asked for us to come back. I was like, I'm not ready. I don't think we're ready yet. She said, no, you don't understand. You really need to come back. People are really buying because they're coming out, they're getting what they need, and they're going right back home. Man, we came back out, and COVID actually boosted up sales for us.
Nice.
And so, like I said, we don't do taste tests anymore. I just tell the people what it is, and we haven't had to do that since then. I just pronounce the sauce, and backyard boogie sounds fun. People want, so people kind of tend to gravitate towards the names like San Andreas. Oh, it's an earthquake that's going to be in your mouth. Oh, I love that. And then when they hear it's habanero, they're really going crazy. Like, oh yeah, give that to me now. No problem.
So when you were starting up and everything, and even now in your current position, how big was the competition? Because I hear celebrities come out with their barbecue sauces. Like, for example, Jim Ross from wrestling, he has his JR barbecue. You have these mainstream celebrities that are even doing barbecue. So how was the competition? Like, did you have to compete against that, or you just didn't even focus on that? You was like, just let me do what I need to do and go from there.
You say, have you tried this? Have you tried that? And to be truthful, I haven't tried anybody else's sauce in the last 3-5 years. I haven't. To be truthful, it's just mine because I know Warren G has a sauce out. Guy Fieri has a sauce out. Now, Guy Fieri is in some of the same supermarkets I'm in, but my bottles are placed above his.
Nice.
At eye level. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends. And I'm not the guy for what he's got, but my bottles are placed above his, and I've gotten more orders from the stores just because the stores I can't say enough about because they've really helped us out. They put us at eye level. They let us do demonstrations in there, and stuff like that. So, but as far as let's be true, there is no competition. You know what I'm saying?
That's the right attitude to have. That's the right attitude to have.
We had a video of some guys called Curbside to Go, and they did a taste test between Sweet Baby Ray's and J&T'S. I'll let you see it because I don't want you to miss the podcast. You can look it up, but we came out pretty good in comparison.
Nice. Now the creativity for the labeling of your sauces, is that you and your family getting together, brainstorming, or now that you expanded, do you involve other people? Are there creative people, or how did you get the labeling for your sauces? Because Backyard Boogie sounds dope. Backyard Boogie sounds
Right,
dope. To
right,
me,
right,
that would be
right,
like, partying, like, let's do it. Let's go,
I had a social
So,
marketer, and we had an old school label, and she showed me the new label, and I liked just the J&T'S gourmet sauces, and I liked the shield. I really liked the shield, so I took that in the font from her. Now, as far as the colors came in, I picked them. Like, let me show you guys. Like, this is the original. Let me see. Just the black original bottle. This is original.
okay.
And with the sauce showing off in it. Then we had our California Crush, and this one was our gold one, representing the code, Cali. And then when we did Backyard Boogie, because it was peach and mango, we made like a tie-dye one. You guys see that's orange and red.
Oh, okay.
And with our San Andreas, with it being earthquake, what we did was we put cracks. I'm not sure if you can see. Let me see. Cracks in the label.
Ah, smart.
So man, it's just
smart.
sitting here and when I got Backyard Boogie, man, I'm not gonna even lie to you. I was listening to the song by Mac 10, and I was like, hey, this is the name of this sauce right here, because it was just banging. I was like, that's gonna be the name of this sauce right here. So and that's so they've been influenced, or I live in California, so we got the San Andreas fault out here, and I know the habanero is full of heat, and when you put it does put an earthquake in your mouth. So I was like, San Andreas. Not off the video game. I forgot about the video game. I produced it. I was like, oh well, that's a barbecue sauce.
So what do you think about going into the commissary?
That is one of the hardest things you'll ever be able to do.
Yeah, so the reason I bring that up is I was talking to a guy who does that for the government contracts. Like, for anyone who doesn't know, to get into like the DOD, the government, man, we're talking about government contracts, the SAM account. Like, I forgot we went through a whole thing. And like, they're like, and there's, of course, as difficult as can be, but there's people that if you pay them, they will help you have access to these accounts. And like, it's a whole nother world. Like, 'cause that's something that I've looked at too. Like, hey man, how do you get into AFES? How do you get into, how do you get into the commissary? How do you get to the VA has a clothing place? Like, how do you get into these things? And really from what I've seen is, again, man, it's like you can, because the government contracts can be anything, right? It could be your gourmet sauces. It could be, because we see at the commissary, somebody has to order it, clothes and et cetera. And I was talking to a company about it. I think we were talking about it and they were like, hey, we can do this. And you could potentially bid on contracts or do those things to get it into there. So is that something you've already looked at?
Yeah, we looked at it. You have to be in the civilian stores for like 2 years before the commissary will even look at you. But, and you got to be like at least regional. So that means I'd have to take over Southern Cali, which is going to happen soon enough. But once I get in there and I'm in there steady for a good 2 years, then they only have one food broker, and that one food broker handles the AFES and the commissary contracts. But you have to really do some moving and grooving to get up there. I'm going to be there eventually. But right now we're just taking our time and just concentrating on the stores we have right now. The stores in the farmers markets, which are good. I sell probably about anywhere on a bad week, 40 bottles, to a good week would be about 120 bottles. And that goes back. It goes back and forth each week.
Nice.
So, but
I think the hardest thing that people don't realize when you're starting something, a business or whatever you're doing, getting the momentum to get your name out there is, man, that's the toughest thing in the world. Like, even like for my clothing, right? You have the internet, but I mean, it's the internet. You still got your people's front of mind. And then, I don't know what it is for sauces or anything like that, but I know at least for like e-commerce on the websites, you're talking about a 0.01 or 0.02 conversion rate. So you need 1,000 people for just a couple orders. And that's just how it goes for just regular e-commerce sites.
Yeah.
And so I don't think people understand when you're talking about like, hey, it's 40 or hey, it's 120. That's 120 that you got to like fulfill, right? And then that's 120 that like you have to go get. And I think that farmers market's a great, because I see you all the time on your Facebook Live. Every time I see you, you're always at a farmers market. And it's like, that's why you have the following you have, is because people get, and I think that's what people love about, that's what I like about farmers market. Man, if I want to go get something, I'm like, I can see the guy who made it.
Yeah.
And if he looks crazy, I'm not going to touch it. But if you know what I mean? But the way you're talking about your gourmet sauces, the San Andreas, and you're having that thing, people are like, bet, you know what I mean? Even Izzy's like, yeah, like, right. Like, it's a conversation now. And it's like, it becomes more than a sauce.
Yeah.
It becomes to like, I can understand them.
You think about it, cooking, grilling, and smoking, to me is like a sport now. And a lot of people are getting into it. They got the easy grills out now. You got your Traegers and your pit bosses. A lot of people are still using stick burners, but so many people, barbecuing is so universal. Anywhere you go, people are all about having good food. And the sauce becomes kind of a conversation piece, because the sauce, they're like, do you smother it? I'm like, you can smother it if you want to, or you can dab it, you can dip it, however you want to use it, but it becomes a conversation piece. And people, I have customers come talk to me every week, and it'll be an old guy, and he'll say, yeah, man, when I used to smoke this and do that, and you just look kind of laughing, but it's a good conversation piece. Start it off, and then you give them the flavor profile, and they're like, yeah, okay, let me try that one. Let me get this. So, yeah, man, it's the farmers market is, because I was just going to try to do Amazon, and to go to the farmers market, like you say, I don't even like to call them customers. Patrons, fans. They come back, and they're coming back for more, and you get to know them. And I've been to farmers market since about 2015, 16. So I've seen these people grow. I've seen their children grow up. You know what I'm saying? You see the family, you see, a lot of these people come, some leave, some come back, some go, but you get a family, especially for the people who are coming back. I got, especially like, when they find out you're a Marine. And if they're a Marine, oh man, they're coming, hey, double dog, they're loving it. They're loving it. They're coming, they're talking to me. They're pumped up to talk to you, just that, get that one-on-one. It gets no better.
So unto this day, right now, you still do the farmers markets? You still promote your stuff?
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. I'll be honest with you. Like, if I had a farmers market here in Florida, I would go there versus Walmart. I will go there versus any other traditional brand store. And unfortunately, we don't have it because, like you said, you have the creators there, the ones who are promoting their stuff, producing their stuff, and you get to understand from them. You gain that information from them as to what you're going to be putting inside your body. Over there in Walmart, you don't do that.
Yeah,
you're just buying brand generic stuff. Like, you don't care. When I was in Oklahoma, when I was stationed home, we have farmers markets. That's where I was at. I was in I was eating stuff from the Amish. I was eating stuff from every race, every ethnicity. It didn't matter because it was in the farmers market and it was just real. Their production was it was coming from like within them. The motion, the passion they put into it and everything else. You don't see that when you're going on lane 5 in Publix. Right, exactly. That's a similar, like a ShopRite or something like that. You don't get that same feeling, but that's great that you do that. I wanted to find out from you, when you transitioned out, when you retired, was your first step to go straight into the sauces, or did you look for work, or how? I mean, what was was there a gap to where you were like, let me go find a job first?
GI Bill so I could pay for my rent. When you get out, like, oh man, let me go to school so I got a whole family I got to provide for, so at least I'm gonna have me 2 years of free rent.
Get that housing allowance.
So I went to one of those for-profit colleges. I didn't know any better, and I graduated with project management with the AA in project management. And so I did a couple interviews, but no one ever picked up.
Awesome.
To tell you the truth, you could tell it just wasn't my passion. It wasn't my passion, and I had always dreamed about it, and I just wanted. I said, man, if I can get this sauce out, all I gotta do is get people to taste it, and once they taste it, I'm good. So that's what, and when we went in the farmer's market and we were doing the samples, we were doing them on the little smoky sausages at first, and we eventually went to chicken, and we gave it out like that. But yeah, there was a gap just for about a year, maybe a year and a half before I just went full-fledged into it and said, this is what I'm going to do. Like I said, at one time I was doing 5 farmers markets a day, not to really sustain for the family, but just to get our name out there. Because I'm not tripping the government. I'm fine. They're taking good care of me, with my retirement. But as far as the business alone is its own separate entity. The branding is way out there, and that's is your branding, and getting that name out there, and making sure that I haven't heard anything really negative come back about the sauce, which is good. It's always, hey, that was a real great sauce. We love it. Where can I get some more?
Right.
Are you in stores? I've had people who want to invest, that sort of thing. But right now, it's just family.
All right.
When we've been able to make it happen, so that's where we got it at.
Yeah, that's the dopest thing, man. Like, what I love about this is I've known you before this, so that's what I love about it most. Is we've had conversations like nothing about any of those things, are just back in Okie having fun. Shit, there was a time where, man, I watched this dog Zeus, my dude Zeus, man. That was my dude, man. I love that guy.
Right.
Oh man. The wife and I were talking about the other day. We're like, man, like just because we're talking about memories or something like that. He came up. I think we had a picture, and it was just like, that's like that to me. That's like that. Those are what friends are for. Like, we have friends. But I love to see when I have friends like that, and they're like, hey, they're doing this. Because one of the things I really believe that a recruiter should really recruit people on is like, hey, just in case if you ever retire or you get out, like, and you can get either disability or you get a retirement, there might be a chance where you can really have enough money to cover your basics, where you can sit there and say like, hey man, I'm going to have a dream. I'm just gonna go try it. Fuck it. And that's kind of what it is. It's in a sense of being like, fuck it. We'll see. And if you didn't see that, like, you could be stuck somewhere in the office right now with a tie kind of like that. And you're coming home and you could be making double or triple the money you're making now.
You're not happy.
How happy you are, you're just how happy you are being at a farmer's market, seeing people grow and talking about them. And more importantly, like, if I'm looking at getting barbecue sauce, gourmet sauce, and the guy is selling something else, if he's, I don't want to deal with that. I want to deal with a guy who's like, I deal with this and this one, like, because that's kind of what it is. And the reason why I asked like earlier, are you thinking about doing anything else? Is because it's like you're not, like, you're solely focused on barbecue and barbecue alone. There is not like, hey, I'm thinking about a ketchup, I'm thinking about there's food, but it's like, no, I got binoculars, and I think that's what people love. They want somebody who's authentic. And they want someone who's like, dude, I'm not interested in that at all. But somebody who is, whatever they're selling, I want to be a part of that shit. Like, I want to buy it. I want to do that stuff because I know for a fact that when I taste your when I get your sauce, that you were obsessed about. Like, this wasn't just like, hey, I can make $20 off of this. Let's go ahead and do this one, like a business, right? That's what a business does. But for you, for your perspective, you're out there, you're in the public, you're getting this done. You're just trying to get your dream out there. And I think that's what really people, that's what America's founded on too. Like, that thing, but that's what really people draw to you is that sense. Like right now, I'm so happy for you, but I'm so happy that you're passionate about that. That's being alive, right? Like that's the ultimate thing for everyone is like, man, you're alive and you're fucking following that thing. I love to see you in this place, man. Especially love seeing this one. You got the rub. You might have the rub coming out, right? So that might be it. But as of right now, you got the 4 sauces.
Right.
Now, I got, I'm going to look it up really quick. I got the original, and then I got the San Andreas coming my way. All right. So the San Andreas is for me, though, because it's the wife's like, she's going to be, it's too spicy. Right. So if I have a steak, right? I haven't put nothing on the steak at all for the original. What would you suggest? I'm gonna put in the grill. We're going to put it on the pellet grill, so we're going to smoke it a little bit. But what would you suggest how we do it? From like just the meat, and I got your sauce. What do I do?
If you're doing a steak, you're going to use it as a dip, almost like your A1.
Okay.
You know what I'm
All
saying?
right. What about chicken?
Or you're gonna go ahead and cook that steak. Then you can baste it in the sauce, and then put it on the grill for a little bit, and let it get sticky. Let that sauce get sticky on there, and then
Mm-hmm.
take it off like that, and then that's all. That's all you need to do, man. Nothing more, nothing less.
Bet. What about some chicken or anything like that?
Same thing. It's all about. Let's see. When I first started cooking, I used to like sauce so much. I used to just dip everything in it, and I'm talking about the full thing. And I'd take it out and make sure the whole thing was covered and put it in there. So you can do it like that, which is going to be really full of the barbecue, the gourmet sauce flavor. Or
Mm-hmm.
you can cook your meat first and then baste it, and baste it like 5 minutes before you baste it. Let it cook for another 5 minutes and baste it one more time, just where you got some stickiness in it. So where you can enjoy the taste of your meat, plus enjoy the complement of the sauce. Yeah, I used to be a guy who's like, other sauce is everything, sauce is everything. To me, my sauce is everything. Don't trip. But you want that meat. You want to taste that meat and enjoy the compliment. That it's a condiment. So you want to enjoy that compliment with it on the side, or with it just with a nice light base on there, so you don't have to drench it. For people who can't cook, now they might just want to just take the whole thing and just drop it in there. But if you got some cooking skills, which I know you do, you know what I'm saying, just do it like that.
Bet. Well, as we start wrapping this, like bring this to an end, I really want to talk about some other things though. Like, we see where you're at right now. You're in a good spot. You're in a good place. You're making headways, man. You're in stores. You're doing great things. And you talked a little bit about like, hey, there was a little bit of a gap. And one thing I love to do is to talk about, kind of be the real shit about us veterans. We have a hard time. A lot of us, some of us do, some of us don't. When you retire, what were some of those, like some of the feelings you had, and how did you overcome them? And what I imagine is, like, if you're speaking to somebody who just retired and they're having a rough time transitioning, what are some of your kind of things that help them, lessons learned and stuff like that?
Yeah, man. When I had no idea. I had no job lined up. I had a family of 4. My son had moved out, but still, just because your son moved out don't mean you stop being a parent. So I still had to, make sure he was good. And there was just the only thing I could think of was just going to school so I could get that GI Bill. Just to at least cover the mortgage, cover the rent until I can get my feet straight. And it was transitioning is scary because you just don't know what you're going to be able to do. But as a veteran, you're going to get a job no matter where you go. If you qualify, not just saying just qualify, but you're going to be able to get that job. They're good, and it's a lot better now because the people got have a lot of respect for us veterans now. But back in the day, being a veteran, hey, oh well, you got to join. You got to join it just like everybody else. Not saying that it's easy, but just having that heads up, you got a lot of other people who are veterans in those jobs who are going to be looking out for you. The only job I think I got when I got out, I think I worked at Lowe's for 2 weeks. Then I went to school, and then I worked at matter of fact, I worked at the commissary I think I worked at the commissary for a year, just being a checker, because I was concentrating. I was doing the sauce during the week, and I'd work the commissary from like 4 to 8 at night, and then but during the day I was up there, doing flavors and trying to get the business started, taking classes and trying to get with this company and that company and getting everything right, so we could do the business. So that was my biggest time. Transitioning of just being afraid, but after we came, because I get my retirement, I get my disability, so I pretty much did everything right, taken care of. You know what I'm saying? So I'm able to go ahead and live out that dream of making the sauces, and it's just it's a plus benefit. with the sauces. You know, it's just a golden. It's just like the crown on top.
Yeah. Well, definitely, man. Well, go ahead, Izzy.
Well, I was gonna say what I gotta say, Achilles, man. What really strikes me about you is your humbleness, man. Because even though you've had progress and you are where you're at, you're still humble. Like you didn't let your ego overtake the fact that you know that you've expanded so much. You know what I'm saying? Like you still hustle, you still on the grind. Like you haven't let none of that distract you from getting to where you want to go, and the fact that you actually are continuing to follow your dreams. So for me, I'm glad you came on. I'm glad we had this episode with you because a lot of people need to see that. Sometimes, don't get me wrong, a lot of people let that dream get away from them because they think, oh, I hit this certain part of my life that I'm big now. You know, I'm good. I could do whatever I want to do and everything else, but don't realize, you know, they don't want to be humble no more or anything like that. Sometimes things don't always going to stay on the top. You know, sometimes you're going to have to come back down, you know? So, but I appreciate that you stay humble and you stay true to it. Now, out of your children, anybody has the same passion like you with sauces, or they're just going to want to do their own thing? Because you built a legacy. You built a legacy for yourselves and your family, you know?
She's the one. She just graduated. She's going to UCSD for computer programming. I think she's going to be a coder or something like that. But that girl, she can get down. She makes her own sauces. She goes in there. She
nice.
But you know what? She specializes in Oriental food. You know, so she's got the noodles, but she's putting all kinds of sauces and stuff and different seasonings in those noodles. Man, that girl be tearing it up. Yeah, so I think if anything, she'll be able to. She know what it's about.
Well, I'll tell you, you gained a new follower. I'm following your J&T'S. I think it's awesome what you're doing. I'm definitely going to be ordering some because I'm a barbecue guy. And like I said, it's hard to find that fresh, new, like organic, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm in Walmart. I'm in Walmart shopping the generic brand shit. You know, I don't got no other place to go, you know, so I'm over there. But now that I know this is incredible, man. I wish you nothing but the very best, man. God, you know, I hope God makes you prosper as long as you can and continue on with the sauces, and hopefully it continues to expand and everything else.
Thanks for having me,
you gained a following me, man. I'm really glad that you came on and did this episode with us, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So as we start wrapping this up, what we're trying to do is we were talking about it. I'm going to try to figure out how we can get you into HEB, right? That's the point. Because if you're HEB, that here in Texas at least, like it's just in Texas, HEB is like big. I'm impartial to Florida and California. 'Cause I'm a Texan, so I'm always like, you know, Texas is better than everybody else. So that's why I almost want to ask you, when are you going to move to Texas? It'll be better for you. But anyways, so we want to get you into HEB because that's like I said, that's big. But again, man, I love what you're doing, man. I can't wait for the sauces to get here. I'm so proud of what you're doing, man. It's amazing. Again, knowing you from when I've known you to where you're at now, hustling it, getting it going in stores, like that's amazing. That's congratulations on every front. Whatever I got to do to help you out, brother, man. I'm again so proud of you. I love seeing the grind. Every time I see you on the farmers market live, it's dope. So wish you nothing but the best. But if you can, let us know your social medias.
Okay.
I know that we can plug them all in. And we'll have everything on the show notes.
I think the main ones are Instagram. It's at J&T'S BBQ sauce. Then we have the website, which is www.jntsbbqsauce.com. Should go to our Shopify page. We're on Facebook under J&T'S Gourmet Sauces, and we're also on Twitter, but that one's a hard one. It's hard for me to do Twitter, so it's like JT's. We're on there, so you can be able to find us. Just look us up.
Dope, man. Well, thank you again for coming on, man. We'll go from there, and I can't wait for the sauce. So I'll let you know. I'll be texting you when I get the sauce.
Appreciate it. Thanks, fellas.
Hey, you should do it. You should do an Air Force one.
Oh Lord. Semper Fi.
Aim high, baby. Aim high sauce. Let's go. Aim high sauce.
All right.
All right. Thanks, fellas.